can we just like marvel at how clean my kitchen is right now? And I burnt these. We are well on our way to cooking a good meal, guys. Hello and welcome to the show where we don't know what we're cooking until after we've made it. I'm Wesley Newfarmer. That was just very energetic of me, even though I am very tired. I just came back from visiting family, but because I've been gone, I have no recollection of what's in my pantry, what's in my freezer, or what's in my fridge. So let's dive in now and see what we got. Oh, this is so overwhelming. Corn, cauliflower, rose harissa, some garlic here that I confit. We have some black beans, celery, cilantro, cherry tomatoes, ice cream, more ice cream. I've been making homemade ice cream recently. Sun-dried tomatoes, pine nuts could be good on something. Dried pasta. Nothing sounds appealing. I could just make toast. Like, toast never hurt anybody. I saw those sun-dried tomatoes, I immediately thought, pasta salad. I was craving a pasta salad the other day. Let's do that. Pine nuts and sun-dried tomatoes. You know what's amazing is I feel so much better 30 seconds later. I was so demotivated, and then I'm like, oh, let me actually decide what I'm gonna cook, and I'm actually much happier about this. I got out a bunch of stuff, and I'll let you know what it is as we're cooking, because who knows? First thing, this is cascatelli. In order to cook pasta, you need to boil some water. Dump a bunch of salt in, and there we go. Now the pasta is gonna be a little seasoned. With these kinds of things, pasta salad, taco fillings, all this kind of stuff, my biggest issue always is that I use way too much of everything. So I'm gonna actually like measure out how little to use. And reminding myself, a little bit goes a long way. Great. I got out these sun-dried tomatoes. They are super dry. What I'm gonna do is actually soak them in the garlic oil for a little bit so that when I eat them in the salad, they're not terrible. And I am one person, so I am going to just do 1 to 2 handfuls. I'm gonna toast the pine nuts just for flavor. I like toasted pine nuts. They can go from like nicely browned on one side to like burnt all over real fast. So we're just gonna keep our eye on it. I do want some green things in it, some herbs or some kind of something. I pulled this old ratty looking cilantro. That looks good enough to eat. This looks good enough to eat. This looks good enough to eat. This looks good enough to eat. Getting the dirt and crap off of it. And I don't want to get my salad spinner out, and so what do? The stems of cilantro are like not bitter the way they are for parsley and other herbs. So if you feel like cutting it up and including it in whatever you're making, go for it. Let me spill everything everywhere. Okay, sounds good. Celery leaves I really like to use as like an herb basically. So the same thing, I'm gonna rinse and then chop them up. All right, that's a lot. Don't overdo it, Wesley. Oh my God, it smells like I'm cutting celery. I'm a big fan of the celery leaves. Oh, yep, and I burnt these. Okay, great. Ready or not? Good enough for me. Good, done. Salty, delicious, good enough for me. It's always a good idea to save some pasta cooking liquid in case whatever you're making ends up being a little dry. There we go. Take that off the heat, and these things look pretty good and toasty. They're like a little brown, but not burnt at all. Some cherry tomatoes. Fewer than you think because it's already a boatload of stuff. In half, and then little semicircles, because I think that way it will mix in nicely. And I don't care if this bowl overflows. This is the stuff that I'm just dumping directly into the pasta. So now we have the pasta, we have like the add-ins, mix-in stuff, and so now just like the basic dressing. I'm gonna take some of these garlic cloves that I really like, and then I'm just gonna like mash them up into the bowl. And I'm thinking about the flavors we have so far, and a little bit of acid would be actually really nice. So I'm gonna do a little bit of balsamic and treat it like a real salad. And I want some more fun flavors, so I got out the rose harissa, which smells very pungent In my experience, it's not actually as pungent as it smells. And I'm just gonna take this whisk to take some of it out, like that. And then also some pesto. And let's add like a fair amount of that, actually. Salt. Whisk that all together. That's gorgeous. That's amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Sun-dried tomatoes, how are these doing? Much softer, still a bit leathery, but perfectly good. I'm gonna whisk them in because it has that oil. Let's not spill it everywhere, Wesley. So let's dump a little bit of our dressing in to like line the bowl a little bit without spilling too much of it. Get some of the mix-ins in. Oh, I forgot all about the black beans and corn. Look at that. And then I'm gonna add the pasta. And now I'm just gonna top it with the rest of everything. That way, it's more evenly mixed. So we just mix everything together. Now, in an ideal world, we let this sit minimum 20 minutes. Let the flavors combine. But you and I don't have that kind of patience. Also, that's really good. Screw it, I'm getting a chair. That's good. That's my success dance. The pasta is cooked perfectly. It helps to taste as you go. And everything is nice and cold because not only was the pasta cold, but also the corn, I think, cooled everything down. It's a really good side dish for something else. Actually, it's a really good main course. Let's just call a spade a spade. Doesn't need to be a side dish. Doesn't need to be like a little lunch. No, it's like a pasta dish. It's gonna be filling. The sun-dried tomatoes are still a bit leathery. Could it use some feta or goat cheese? Sure, but like, does it need it? No way. Oh my God, that's so good. It's just spicy enough. And actually, there are very few fridge ingredients in this. Leftover beans, cilantro that needed to go, frozen corn from the freezer. Well, that's me with an empty plate and a full belly. If you liked this episode or this video or these videos at all, feel free to share with all your friends. I could use the views. Be sure to catch my next video. In the meantime, take a look at your fridge, see what inspires you, and let me know what you do with it.